Here we are live at AI Summit London. I'm happy to say Airbnb, Clair Lebarz, thank you very, very much for joining us. Welcome.
My pleasure, thanks for having me.
So you're involved in data science at Airbnb. Tell me what you do there.
Well, a breadth of things. I work on the guest side of Airbnb, from the data engineering, analytics engineering, analytics, data science, and machine learning. So we do a wide range of things in the team.
And you're a global brand. Where does data science fit in Airbnb?
Well, everywhere, in everything we do, from the product side, which is really my bread and butter, to our operations and our strategy as a company.
So is it more internal or is it more for customer-facing issues?
Really both. You think about the kind of analytics aspect as informing, the strategy of the company. What are the kind of trends in travel, trend in preferences of our customers we're seeing? How can we increase our supply, things like that. And also in the product, where you want to kind of inject back data and machine learning application to improve the actual user experience. So we're really trying to kind of invest in all fronts.
So does everybody know what Airbnb is? I know in the US it's a really big brand.
Well, not yet, not yet. We still have some people who don't know about us, or who haven't taken the leap of faith to try the platform. So this is something we're working hard on.
So how do you define what Airbnb does?
Well, I think you have to go back to really the mission. And our mission is really to create more belonging in the world. And we've been focusing on travel, because when actually people travel, that opens a whole new world to them, and usually kind of open them up to new cultures, different ways of living. And it's really been kind of what we've seen with the product over the years. And also why we went into the experiences, because we felt that actually it's when you do things with local people, when you travel, that you end up being the most transformed in your life. And so this is the type of experience we're trying to create when people travel and go around, and even like not necessarily very far. Right? We've been thinking of travel like going from the US to London, but we've seen more and more like people going just maybe 50 kilometers away and having actually a very interesting, life-changing experience.
So with the pandemic, with travel obviously being very impacted, what's different for Airbnb now, say, rather than during the pandemic?
Yeah, well, we did notice that change in where do people travel and how they travel. So they've gone a lot closer to where they live. They've kept traveling, which initially was a surprise for us, but we've seen that people were eager actually to get out of the city, to get out of where they were living, to travel with their kids, in a big house with a garden, and have a room where they could work remotely. And so we've definitely seen that and invested in that. And people also have been a lot more flexible. They've been open to a new destination they may not know about, a lot more flexible on their dates. And so we've been trying to match that on the data side and the product side with new product offering for these use cases.
So did the pandemic affect you in terms of versus hotels, which are very large, obviously, or can be very large, but Airbnb can be a small outfit. Did that actually impact your growth versus the hotel growth?
Yes, it did. I mean, initially, everybody has been impacted by the pandemic, the entire industry. But it's true that since we've seen, people around the world being eager to travel to smaller cities, to the nature, I think Airbnb was a great fit for that, because this is the type of inventory, the type of host we have on the platform, and the type of experience we want to provide to people. So people have found this is a good match for what they were looking for at the time.
So how important is data science at Airbnb? It couldn't have, were you there, was data science involved at the start in terms of how they planned the company, or did it come in later?
Yeah, this company has always been very value data quite a lot from the get-go, because if you think about it, really data is the voice of your customer at scale, right? And this is really the spirit of data at Airbnb. And customer feedback is super important, right? We want to build a product that meets our guests and our hosts' need. And so it's important what type of features we're going to prioritize, how we understand what's going well, what's not going so well. And so it's been there in the company from the get-go, yes.
So you're presenting here at the summit tomorrow. Tell me about what you're going to talk about tomorrow.
I'm actually going to talk about graph learning.
We're not giving away all the secret.
Yeah. No secret. I'm going to talk about graph learning, which is a very exciting kind of area in machine learning that has really picked up over the last 3 years. A lot of kind of the innovation has been led by the Google team, DeepMind, and it's been having a lot of kind of already industry and scientific application that that have been successful, and so I'm excited to share actually with people at the event what's going on in that space and maybe get them curious to explore that with their team.
Great. So a year from now, we're having this conversation. What will we be talking about?
Probably the same topic.
Really?
I think so.
Is that because it's slow growth, it's evolving versus a rapid growth?
Well, you probably remember like a few years back, maybe a decade ago, people were very excited about the image space and the revolution with convolutional network and the ImageNet results. I think this is that moment for graph. And a lot of people think that actually graph are key to true AI, true generalization of intelligence. I think we say AI, but we're really still in the kind of machine learning phase. And I think for that reason, and the power and the pace of innovation in the graph learning space, I think this is still going to be the hot topic next year.
I look forward to asking you this next year.
All right.
Thank you very much, Claire.
My pleasure.